Alright, y'all, the finale. Heaven's Secret Requiem, Season 3, Episode 11. I know that I started the, darkest path there is, I feel. Especially since CAIN is my man. So I'm scared of what kind of ending I'm gonna get. But I already said that I had to replay Heaven's Secret 3 already because of the fact that apparently I got the neutral ending again. So I started replaying the second book. That's when you truly get the opportunity to get close to Malbonte and to choose him as your lover. And it will take me a few days. And I said until I manage to get that, I'm just gonna play the stories that I missed out on. Or in general, I'm gonna try to at least get the real or correct start, aka ending, with the other characters. We know that I haven't finished Estrella's Broken Heart, so there was a lot of spoilers in episode 2 of Heaven's Secret 3, but let's hope that I'm gonna at least get the real ending that I get here with CAIN. But let's see. When the dark accepts the light and the light accepts the dark, what must happen will happen. That which cannot be avoided. Peace. Okay. The small gap turned out to be a breach in the gates. It began pulling in air with such force that there was no way to resist. I felt my feet lift off the ground. We remember that CAIN actually kind of absorbed us, just like he absorbed his brother. Truth be told, that was... Thinking about it, that was a gruesome scene. Like, he actually absorbed his brother, and therefore also the power that he had. And meanwhile, he also decided to lose himself in all that darkness. I have no idea what happened now to CAIN and who he is. And if the real CAIN that we all know and fell in love with is still present after he chose to absorb all this darkness. But let's see, I flew forward past the massive gates, each as wide as a train car. I looked back, the towering monolithic gates stood behind me, so I really was on the other side of them. The dark, towering gates began to shift, scraping against the stone floor, stirring up a wave of grey dust before shutting tight. Now there was no way back. Where even are we? Is this the gates of hell? What kind of gates did we even open? I caught from the dust and winced, unpleasant throbbing at my temple, sharply shifted into spiking pain. It's like my mind is being torn apart. Swirls of grey mist settled, revealing the shore of the Red Shallows. I never thought it actually had a beginning. We're definitely in Baal's territory now. I'd recognize it anywhere. I had the airy feeling the demon could be lurking nearby. So Baal is actually a demon, it's not just some kind of soul. God. I looked around in fear but saw nothing that might be concealing his presence. Something else caught my eye, however. Familiar doors half sunken in the red slit. Around them lay scraps of wallpaper, soaked furniture, splintered wood. Staring in shock at the turgid debris, I stepped closer. That's the collapsed corridor from my mind. What happened to it? Why is it destroyed and here all of the places? One of the soggy door frames fell into the water, and in that instant a spasm shot through my body, pounding my head with a dull ache. The corridor was never physical, it only existed in my head. If I'm seeing its physical form now, then the shallows must be the border between reality and creations of the haze. But why did it fall apart? Did it serve its purpose? Or a kind of you served your purpose? Maybe Baal always had his claws in our minds, but we didn't realize. We had those episodes, the beginnings, where we started to see this red and us slowly losing control. Maybe that was us subconsciously fighting against Baal's influence. And now that we actually are in Baal's reign, like in his domain, we can't fight it anymore. And the things that we saw in our minds, maybe it was just a memory. And we pictured it as us literally just walking through our mind. A deafening crack rang out behind me. Huh? I turned and stopped, stunned by what I saw. CAIN was forcing his way through a breach in the gates. Tendrils of the Fantogans whirled around him. Oh my god, this is so dark. But why would CAIN want to go in there? He said he wanted to destroy Baal and have him run for the hills. The gates wouldn't release him. He was stuck, hovering several feet above the ground. Spotting me, CAIN hissed weakly. What in the hell? What kind of BS is this? At least he got his wings back, but hell no. Simona. I stepped into the shallows and got ready to run, but a tendril of black blood snared my ankle. CAIN yanked it toward himself and I crashed onto the stone floor. The audacity of this bitch! I tried clawing at the seams between the tiles, but he was stronger. He kept pulling me closer. Where are you running from me, darling? Oh, hell to the fucking nah. Hell to the fucking nah. So now we are the only thing that feels familiar to him. Sir, I do not like this attitude. No, I do not. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, I have been romanticizing this part of CAIN. Yes, but we knew that back then, when he was doing all of this, that he was saying it jokingly. Yes, we knew he was serious. We knew he wanted us by his side all the time. But he wasn't actually willing to force his way through, you know? He actually took his time with us. And he released us when it was convenient. I mean, not when it was convenient. He released us when he noticed that he was overstaying his welcome. Or when he thought that he was pressing us too much. He gave us time when we needed time to think. And then he kind of had the capability to know when he should stay away for a bit in order to give us time to think and space. And then he came back and allowed us to make the first step, as in showing that we are fine with his presence, because he didn't want to reveal everything to us just yet. But right now, it's kind of him forcing his way onto us, not because he himself wants to, but because of the negativity that he absorbed. He became someone unrecognizable. We said it in the last episode, like the narration. He allowed himself to be consumed by the Fantogan, and that turned him into someone unrecognizable. So this right now, what he's doing right now, is not the real CAIN that we know and love. This is now the negativity of the Fantogan that changed him into someone that isn't the CAIN we know and love. As in right now, the negativity he absorbed, that is the one that's taking power over his every movement. So that's not the real CAIN acting right now. It's now completely all his impulses. So who knows what he would actually be willing to do if we don't bound to his will. And that's what's worrying me. That's why I cannot stand behind it. He's not in his right mind. That's not the real CAIN. So I cannot romanticize this. Hands off the property, bitch. Again, we need to set priorities. Back then, I had it with Dimitri in the first episode, where everyone was swooning over him and his muscles and whatever, and I said, fuck you, because your attitude sucks. Dust and grime clogged my nails as I scratched at the stone, scrambling like a mad woman up the gentle slope. I couldn't stay on the ground. As I neared the gates, CAIN lifted me, enveloping me in his bloodied arms. You knew how to crush everything inside me. What did you see in him? I forgot that this was still tea. I thought it was over. I thought that was over. Eep. I did myself dirty. That was my problem. That was my issue. And I can't even Never ever do this in real life, folks. Never ever. The second you claim a woman or a man, you stay true to that man. Do not be a bitch like me in these games. I would never ever do this in real life. I'm doing this all for drama purposes and for entertainment purposes. I would never ever condone to this in real life. One time cheating, out. Out. I wouldn't be mad at this bitch if you drops my fucking ass. Like, and especially like this is the brother. It was the fucking brother. Shit. What did you see in him? I'll betray you just like he betrayed me. You absorbed him, bitch. Oh, maybe that makes you a perfect match. His grip became rougher. I grabbed his shoulders and spat out. Let go, you're insane. Demon. Oh! No, at this point, you're insane, no. He has every right to be upset. Again, his brother. His brother. I didn't think that one small gem choice, considering the fact how much we can actually play around, that actual would come to bite us in the ass. But I would say let go. Let go because that's the only thing right now. We can't say demon because right now he isn't in his right state of mind, so maybe it would even please him a little bit. And he's fragile-minded. So us actually calling him a demon when that's everything he'd never wanted to hear, it would kind of be like us becoming the people that judge him. And since we went our entire journey never ever judging him based on what he does when he loses his mind, just like back then in the church, it would be fucked up if we bring that up. And you're insane, he is, but what is gonna happen when you tell him? He's like, I'll show you insane. Let go. He froze as if shocked by the rage in my voice. Then he let me go and I scrabbled backward. Lowering his head, he chuckled softly. I barely escaped Ball's prison only to end up trapped by my own feelings. I couldn't stop myself and I got attached. And still I was rejected. You're not rejected! He raised his head, madness swirled in his eyes, along with bitterness, distance, and a plea. I don't even know what's going on. Did we get rejected? Did he reject us? Did he dump us? Kiss me. What? I glanced at CAIN warily. Please, Simona, I won't ask for more. I shouldn't have done it, but ignoring the cold darkness emanating from him, I moved closer. The more I feel, the deeper I fall. Our lips touched, his burned, mine trembled. CAIN embraced me. I wanted to deepen the kiss, and he let me. There was something frantic, desperate, and wrong in our embrace. Every part of me reached out for him as if I were confessing all my sins through a kiss. The filthier the confession, the higher the chance of absolution. You'll always be mine. And I only want to be yours, like this was just for entertainment purposes. I fucked myself, what can I tell you? His hands clutched at my clothes, refusing to let me pull away. His eyes lost focus as emotion overtook reason. CAIN. He came to a sentence for just a second, long enough to release me and whisper, Run. Now. What? As soon as my feet touched stone, I ran toward the skull-marked door. By the water, I ducked to snatch the fallen spear. The delay almost allowed the Phantogan tendrils trailing from CAIN to catch up. What is happening? I plunged into the water and pushed forward with everything I had. Just make it. I have to make it. I don't understand. What is happening? What the fuck is this? As soon as I crossed the threshold, I heard an odd splash behind me. I turned and saw CAIN being thrown back from the door by a strange burst of light. Somehow it all felt familiar, like I'd seen it once already, a long, long time ago. Wasn't this the chains that held us captive? When CAIN would whisper into our ear that the world is awful and blah blah blah. Suddenly my skin burned, but the sensation was swiftly replaced by an indescribable lightness. For some reason I saw myself completely naked, but it didn't bother me, as if that was the way it should be. The shape of the door began crumbling, turning into ash. The objects floating in the shallows all sank at once. Only my white backpack remained untouched for some reason. What had once been a corridor was now vanishing before my eyes. Maybe this is the final stretch? Suddenly, in the fading doorway, I saw the silhouette of a woman laying face down in the water. I wanted to get a better look, but the door crumbled just as I reached her. There was no way back now, only forward, into the darkness. I took a few cautious steps forward, then walked more confidently. The deeper I went, the more the surroundings began to change. It felt like my legs were carrying me through the halls of my own mind. This is my past. It looks like the final door wasn't the one marked with the gun, but the one with the skull. It holds a memory too, but which one? Memories are flashing by. I saw myself standing at the gates, barely alive, wearing my old Siberia uniform. Blood was dripping from my hand, and a crimson wound bloomed on my stomach. The base had probably collapsed. That would explain all my injuries. My face twisted in confusion, with nowhere else to go. I hesitantly pushed against the massive gates. They yielded easily. The shore looked different, no corridor yet, only the lone gate standing in the middle of the fog. Something was pulling me toward them. Step by step, I approached the stone frame, and then disappeared inside. I found myself standing in the shallows. Who are you? How did you get here? Who's there? Where am I? No, show yourself! What's going on? Who am I talking to? A booming voice echoed across the space, making me flinch. How did you manage to get inside? I just walked through the gates. I don't understand where I am. Is this hell? No answer. No one from the outside can reach me. Even immortals struggle to get in. Sifa made sure this prison would stay sealed. Sifa? What are you talking about? Where am I? I don't understand any of this. You're definitely not immortal. I want to look into your mind. Somewhere in the fog, chains scrapped against each other, their sound echoing across the shallows. Come closer. Instead of obeying, I stepped back. The gates I came through were gone. What's going to happen to me? Movement stirred in the distance. The sound of chains grew louder. I could see the fear written on my face, the struggle in my every breath. My shoulders shuddered at every new sound. Suddenly, someone grabbed me by the neck from behind, holding me in place. The fog concealed him for a few moments, then the crimson haze parted. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, back then apparently he was already a prisoner for Baal. So, oh god, no. That's how we met? You were told to come closer. Lifting me off the ground, Cain brought me up to a massive chain. Who are you? Where am I? Are those wings? The immortal didn't answer. Instead, he forced me to bow until my forehead touched something unbearably cold but alive. My eyelids trembled, but thoughts unraveled. Who is... It hurts. The thick haze concealed the being I was touched, but gigantic chains stretched upward made my insides twist. For a moment I regained a flicker of clarity. Hot tears ran down my cheeks. Hey, what are you doing? I didn't get to finish speaking. The chill burned against my forehead once more. It's useless. I sensed the echoes of Sifa's power in her. Breaking into this one's mind won't be easy. In an instant, chains slithered in from all sides, binding my legs, my arms, my neck. They tightened, twisting, digging into my clothes, tearing them apart, leaving me hanging utterly bare. Let her weaken, then I will try again. That's Baal. Ooh, and he already was not having it. Bitch, you knew what you were gonna have me go through. You knew. The sound of chains retreated. The angel glared with hatred into the swirling haze where that voice had been moments ago. Then CAIN looked back at me, his expression softening ever so slightly. Oh, you really? To come here willingly? How terrible. That fine-ass bitch! The angel's form dissolved into the fog. I was left completely alone. Y'all, it's the fact that he had a soft spot for us ever since he met us. He gave us to the devil, but oh well. He is a cutie. Course. Minutes, hours, days blurred together. My memories drifted. My face hollowed, making my features gaunt. My eyes dulled. After what felt like an eternity, the chains rattled again. I didn't even have the strength to scream. I was exhausted, but not dead. The haze thickened. I felt that icy touch once more. This time it lingered. My fingers clenched. My head jerked involuntarily. It looked as though a demon was being exorcised for me. Then my movement slowed. Found it. This memory was well hidden. Across the shallows, the sound of children crying echoed a chorus of tiny, trembling voices. He sent his gift wandering, searching for the right human. What? You were the only child who didn't feel the glowing white spear. Silent when all the others swept, then you opened your arms and embraced it. That's it. Is that how Sifa chose you? Chose me for what? Once again, the presence dug through my mind, probing my past. A shiver rippled through me. He gave you purpose, made you his messiah. Oh, that's what he meant by gift. So it's kind of like, I would assume a little bit of Siva's energy is inside of us, and that's how it's possible that only we are capable to decipher the book of the apocalypse. I thought you could save the world. Yep. How dull. My body went still again. It seemed like I was done being messed with until I heard the voice once more. The weapon, the spear. Now this is interesting. My memories raced forward again. The voice studied me for months, learning everything, digging through my past, turning my soul inside out. Once it had taken everything it wanted, the angel appeared before me again. Is she still here? Bitch, you knew I was still here! This one is the key to my freedom. Only the spear can break the prison, and she's the one who will find it. I will release her to retrieve it, but when she comes back, she will surely seek vengeance. We must make sure she feels no sympathy for her world. Her last feelings were hatred and pain, the ones she carried here. We will nurture them, let them bloom, and everything else we will erase. Is she even a threat? She's just a human. Everyone is a threat if you don't break them, Holly. Understand the simple truth, CAIN, and you'll avoid many lessons of our endlessly long lives. The angel stayed silent. My body dangled limply in the chains, apparently stirring in him. Anger toward the demon, bitch. Anger toward the demon. Whisper to her how rotten her world is, erase every good thing. Wow. A human is easiest to break when exhausted on the brink of hysteria. Just like you are right now? Then bring her to me. After that, the memory blurred with unbearable pain. CAIN's conversations alternated with Baal's torture. I screamed, begging them to stop, but the voice kept pounding fear, pain, and poisonous hatred into me. No wonder he didn't want us to know about who he is and what our past was. Our subconscious blocked out those memories in order to protect us. That's what we do when we have PTSD. And usually there is the type of PTSD where the second that you get confronted with the people that hurt you in the past, it immediately comes rushing back. And then there is this PTSD that resolves to either temporal or permanent, not insomnia, amnesia. You can't remember because the pain is so powerful and your subconscious is blocking those memories on purpose because he knows, or it knows, that these memories are too painful for us to bear. That's why we refuse to remember. And that's why he felt the need to look out for us, because he felt guilty that he carried out Baal's burden. Days wrapped around me over and over again. The cage became my home, the voice. First it was my mother, then my father, then lied. They tore me apart piece by piece. Dissected me like a human puzzle, vein by vein. Gutted me like a doll, dug into my mind and mocked me. The voice poisoned me with images of people I loved, treating me with merciless cruelty. It pulled out any face from my memory, only to taunt me with it. I began to feel disgusted for them involuntarily. I was meant to hate the world and its people. They wanted to kill my humanity, leaving only hatred behind. Truth be told, and that's when we actually project onto the wrong things. We should still have come back to Ball's ass. We still should have come back in order to bitch at Ball. Day after day, month after month, year after year. One day the voice finally stopped torment. Hasn't she had enough? Her feelings are buried deeper than Siva hid his gift. Shut up. James rattled again in the haze. Found the book of the Apocalypse. It was in her memory. Search for a place from which the human can reach the spear as quickly as possible. But she must suspect nothing. She will walk his path herself. She will remember nothing of a meeting, nothing of the final hours of her life. She will believe she's always hated the world. Arrange everything and I will release her. You will be her guide. In the end, she will come back here. She will return on her own with the spear. But she won't want to save the world. On the contrary, she'll be glad to see it end. But... A claw dragged across my palm, black blood dripped down, seeping into the thin red cut. Humans are weak, unpredictable. Even without her feelings, she might side with humanity and awaken. So I will give her a piece of myself. My blood will intoxicate her as it does the others. Outwardly, she'll remain human. When she returns, the scar will start to fade, her blood will become mine, and the chosen one will fall under my control. Oh, hell no. That is dark on so many levels. So kind of we're still bitched. No matter how we twist and turn it, we are still the fucked one. Only she can bring the spear into the prison Siva built. Chains clanged heavily. Look at this. Look at what they turn us into. I flinched, but my gaze stayed empty. I can't wait to shed these shackles. They drain all my strength. The sounds receded. From within the haze came the fading voice. Tell me when it's done, do not delay. Wow. The crimson memory slowly faded into the endless chains. I collapsed to my knees, unable to gather myself. Thoughts tore through my mind, suffocating me. That voice, it could only be a CAIN. ABEL! What does ABEL have to do with this? Ball. Yes, CAIN speaks to him with barely contained hatred. And am I the chosen one? You're the only one with the spear. That glowing spear of light was the gift, and the spear the only weapon that can kill Ball or shatter his prison. Ball already knows me. He knows everything Sifa did, and so does CAIN. So he's been waiting for me, right? And the scar. I looked at my hand. The Fentogen was spreading, slowly, almost imperceptibly. Rising to my feet, I trudged forward in silence. I was empty inside, too drained to think. It felt like someone had once again rummaged through my mind, twisting everything in the most revolting way. I just need to keep moving. Just keep moving. Final. The devil. All right. It's the final countdown. A faint light appeared ahead. The chains pulled back, the passage widened until I finally emerged at the ruins of the base. Droplets fell occasionally from the dense white haze that passed for a sky. Shivering, I walked to the wreckage and tore off the bent door of a locker. Inside were pieces of light fabric, which turned out to be poorly sewn dresses. I don't care. Whatever. I walked through the ruins covered in ash and soot. Dark clouds of dust rose from the ground. The sky was shrouded in a milky haze. The twisted metal of Siberia's corridor seemed to hint that I had reached the very heart of the rift. Or maybe the world around me only wanted to appear that way. This is Baal's territory, but I don't remember it like this. Is this another haze just to drive me insane? Slowly pushing forward, I started to notice how strange the base looked. There were objects around, so huge they wouldn't have fit into any testing facility. Massive stakes as tall as windmills, held in chains fastened to the ground. Baal must be here somewhere. I glanced at my hand again. The dark veins of the Ventogan had barely just reached my knuckles. But only for now. I need to hurry. If I get infected, there will be no way back. And if I manage to kill the demon, will his blood remain dangerous? Maybe its properties will fade. The infection was spreading slowly because I could control myself the same way I did the spawn. I could keep the blood in check for the time being. Lost in thoughts about the memories I'd seen, which had probably been triggered by the shock, I didn't notice the figure ahead. Feeling a presence, I stopped and sharply raised my head, looking up to the top of one of the stakes ahead. Wow. A young man sat in chains, pale as the fog. His body looked boyish, but his long hair and soft features seemed almost feminine. He was so emaciated he could barely move his lips. Free me, please. In his colorless eyes there was a dying plea and pain. Trails of dried tears clung to his cheek. Am I not the only prisoner here? Only captives are bound in chains. Almost relieved at the sudden company, I ran closer, but then slowed, making myself stop. I caught myself and hesitated. I don't even know who this is or why he's here. Free me. Who are you? The pale figure seemed startled by human speech, and finally turned his gaze to me. It was as if for the first time he truly saw me. I don't believe it. How is there someone here? I repeated my question and tightened my grip on the spear. The tense gesture didn't escape his notice. CAIN? Did he tell you about this place? He also knows CAIN. Did he tell you I must be killed? You know him, don't you? And how are you still alive? You're the chosen one, aren't you? I've been calling you for so long. What are you even talking about? The words shocked me so much I instinctively stepped back. CAIN always lied. Always lied? What the fuck? About the demon in prison here. Then who are you? I'm Sif. CAIN and I share the same blood. He locked me away here. CAIN locked him here too? I mean, he was Baal's bitch, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm intrigued to know what CAIN did in order to get into Baal's bad graces, that he said, yeah, I want you to carry out my burdens. Because if you ask me, yes, CAIN can be a bitch, but I don't think that he would willingly be going around putting so many people into Baal's realm, considering the fact he didn't show anything remotely to true respect towards Baal. Are you brothers? But why would CAIN do that? He was my power. And Baal? CAIN is Baal. CAIN is Baal! CAIN is Baal! What? I fell in love with Baal! I fell in love with Baal! And CAIN has always been speaking to us as if in the third person. Then who was the person that we talked to? Like the person that didn't want to reveal itself. Is CAIN like the personification of who he is? Like just like it was in Kali Call of Darkness with Ratan, where he was just one of the 11 personifications of a god? What? No, CAIN stayed back at the gates. I nearly dropped the spear from my hands. My legs felt weak. He loves to pretend. He has to face us. And soon he'll return. No, something's wrong. This doesn't add up. Oh, but it would. It's always the kind ones. What am I supposed to believe here? I see it. I know that look. He also used to be like us, right? You've been deceived by him too, haven't you? You don't know the truth. I'll tell you everything, and then you'll understand what you must do. He never told you that humans were created by another god, did he? The one he serves. Another god? Pastor Gabe mentioned this. Tell me more. Humans and demons were created by the god of darkness, angels by the one of light. The god of light's name was Sifa. The god of darkness was the one who always lingered in the shadows, even among his own creations. He was called evil because evil is exactly what he was. Sifa saved humanity, gave them hope, and human began to believe in him. CAIN served the god of darkness. He carried out his orders. He was a loyal warrior. What the fuck is even happening right now? Sifa knew the god of darkness was gathering strength, planning to reclaim his children, to punish them, to force them into obedience, to rein them in. And if he succeeded, faith in Sifa would falter, and the god of darkness would grow in power. Just like what Malbonte did by freeing his ass. Well, every prayer in his name would make him stronger. The call that dives into the rifts. Gabe already knew of the god of darkness, so is someone rallying humans in his name? Preaching another faith and feeding the god of darkness more power? The god of darkness fed on human sin. CAIN nurtured these sins, pushed humans forward toward them and grew them inside. Then he absorbed them, becoming stronger. Sifa couldn't let humanity become enslaved to him. He couldn't let the god of darkness thrive. Long ago, when immortals were few and humans had only just appeared, Sifa imprisoned CAIN for his cruelty. The god of light was afraid. Humans yielded to temptation far too easily. Sins flourished in them like weeds, wild, stubborn, and untamed. And this is literally how I behaved when I first saw CAIN on the screen. It makes perfect sense to me, y'all. What in the holy fuck? Wait, if he was imprisoned in here, then how is it possible that... No, hold up. It don't make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense. How is it possible that there is two CAINs? Like, we heard a voice that came from everywhere at once. Was that supposed to symbolize CAIN's mind? Like, just like the power of mind that lingers between our main character and Malbonte? That we hear his voice in our mind. So there wasn't actually someone talking. And CAIN, as in the CAIN that we know, the CAIN that was by our side. Wait, hold the fucking phone. No, I just caught myself. The voice we heard, that wasn't Ball. The voice we heard, the one that Ball hates, aka CAIN hates, was Sifa Malum. They were both talking to each other about Sifa. She's the one that could free me from my prison. She has the book of the apocalypse. She's the one that can find the spear. And blah, 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 blah. CAIN couldn't stand. CAIN was talking to someone else. He wasn't talking to his own subconsciousness. We heard Sifa Malum in that damn dungeon. Y'all, our character is like Malbon. Oh my god, I have a type, y'all. I have a fucking type. Karma. The god of darkness influence won, but Sifa remained uneasy. He foresaw disaster. Heaven had already trembled once from war, and he feared it would happen again, but it wouldn't come from where it would come. Troubled times were coming. There had to be someone who would carry out Sifa's will, even if he were to fall. He did it not out of love, but out of rivalry, out of a desire to be right. To keep the god of darkness from reigning his strength, Sifa created the book of the apocalypse. He wrote it so that only the chosen one could read what was written. In it, he sealed the key to CAIN's prison, the spear of Longoinus. He explained how to find the weapon, how to find the gates to the prison, and who would be able to pass through. The book changed hands many times, but the chosen one never came until the day heaven trembled. Then Sifa's gift awoke from its slumber, sensed the danger, and thought the one who would accept it. You. But if this, where we are right now, is CAIN's prison, aka Ball's prison, how is it possible that CAIN can get away from his prison? The Book of the Apocalypse was created so I could decipher its messages and find the spear. So that's what y'all sense overload. And then enter the gates and kill the demon. Only then will the threat be gone. Everything's too entangled. Keeping everything in one place would have been too dangerous. Sifa knew this, so he protected himself. Earlier, you managed to decipher the records about the Order. Right, the Order guarded the book, but someone slaughtered them trying to find it. The spear was probably hidden the same way to keep it away from the followers of the God of Darkness. Maybe the agency where Audrey lived was doing the same thing, and after finding the spear, I had to return the gates in Rotkov. The rift that appeared at the base was the first one. It all began there. The gates leading to the prison opened inside it. Sifa sealed the demon's prison with his power so no one could break in to help him. And no one could escape either. But if the demon's strong, he must have found loopholes during all this time. The spawn, for instance. They come from the rifts, and Baal's blood runs through them. But then how did I reach Baal earlier? How did I enter without the spear? I lowered my head deep in thought. If Sifa's gift is inside me, could my blood also be a key to the prison? Baal's seal in the Book of the Apocalypse, it was signed like a summoning sigil. What a ridiculous chain of coincidences. You have nothing to fear. Even if Sifa is dead, the spear still holds enough power to kill the demon. You only have to decide whether you want to save the world or not. But why give me a choice? And why didn't Sifa kill him himself? The gods do not care for pointless deaths. Kill one and two mortals will take his place. It's easier to put a threat on a leash and keep an eye on it. Malbonte. Only taken alive when no other option remains. But why me? Why give such power to an ordinary human? Why not choose an immoral for such an important role? Beings who live forever are less moved by feelings. They could have allowed humans to die because they were too weak. But to Sifa, every life deserves to live. Sifa chose to raise you as a human. Fragile, fearful, flawed. You had to understand why you were saving people. To feel that connection yourself to want their salvation. And this way you deceived the God of Darkness. He hid you where no one would think to look. A human is an offspring of the God of Darkness, while the essence of the Chosen One is immortal, a light created by Sifa. To keep the Chosen One hidden, he placed your soul merged with his gift inside a mortal shell. So we are actually immortal? Away, neither the God of Darkness nor his demons could see you. They searched for something bright and powerful, while you lived quietly among his own creations, humans. This young man shifted. The pale skin on his hands was torn raw from the chains. When you entered through the gates, you were supposed to shed the flesh belonging to the God of Darkness, but something went wrong. His gaze moved to my scar, from which dark veins were crawling upward. You cannot accept yourself fully. You split in two, rejecting your true nature. And yet both halves of you are so tightly fused that it was impossible to purge the influence of God of Darkness flesh completely. Could the young woman I saw in the shallows have been me? Did I split in two? Horrified, I raised my hands to my face. Everything felt the same, but ever since I passed through the last door, there was that strange weightlessness. I always thought it foolish to run from yourself. What makes us strong is embracing and mastering who we are, not serving the bad part, trying to destroy it. Have I become immortal like the angels, become immortal like the demons? I mean, we are here for, sadly, the darkness of darkness, become immortal like the demons, taking the form of a dark spirit? No, you only shed your mortal flesh, that's what the gates do. See if I didn't want Baal to reach your human side when you faced him. But the black veins on your arm show that somehow the demon still managed to touch you. Still, if you wish to leave, you will regain yourself. Only CAIN would allow you, or me. We fell silent. A light drizzle occasionally fell around us. My chest heaved. I couldn't process everything I'd heard. I knew I had to act quickly, but something was gnawing at me. And without answers, I didn't want to move. If Sif wanted to get out so badly, why waste time telling me all this? Any delay's dangerous. What if he's stalling me on purpose? I noticed that while he'd been talking, the black veins had spread higher, almost reaching my elbow. Oh no! The person was still sitting on one of the stakes. How do you know so much? I doubt CAIN would have told you all of this. And yet you know every detail about Siva's gift and how he gave it to me. Only someone who's dug through my mind and picked apart my memories could know that. A sick feeling crunched in my gut. Realization hit, and all I wanted was to run. And there's only one creature that could have done that. Silence fell. Thick, suffocating silence. That's Ball. Then came a broken, rasping laugh, vile jacked. The figure either sobbed or cackled hysterically. It was impossible to tell. Y'all, I'm confused. Who's Baal? Is CAIN Baal? He said CAIN is Baal. But who is this now? It can't be Sifa Malum. The human-seeming Sif twisted his body into impossible shapes as if he had no bones. That's Baal? I thought CAIN is Baal. I'm confused. Oh, hell to the nah. The weight is disgusting at so many levels. Yes. A wave of primal fear washed over me, making my body tense. God! The figure vanished, and the world around me grew darker, as if a dome had been placed over the base. That really was the father of lies? He was toying with me. He stalled for time so I'd become infected, so he wouldn't have to fight me at all. So all that talk about CAIN was a lie. But what am I supposed to do now? His haze is everywhere. I can't tell what's real and what isn't. I don't even know where he is anymore. The sound of anguished crying echoed from multiple stakes at once, meant to frighten and confuse. Chains rattled from every direction. I could feel eyes on me. The echo split and doubled. Red glints flashed and the dark vanished and reappearing somewhere else. I was curious what else Siva read in that little book beside the part about where to find me. Aside from the messages, it only talked about supplies and other travel things, nothing truly important. Those pages about Sifa's made-up flora and fauna were probably just a way to hide the real messages. When I looked into your mind, you hadn't translated it yet. Before you died, I'll flip through it again. He doesn't see me as a threat, but is he not afraid of the spear at all? Will it even work? Pressing my back against the metal slab, I braced for an attack. Huge stakes began to rise above the ground and plunged back into the piles of ash, forming a continuous tunnel. Why is he reshaping everything? Does he want to keep me from hiding? When the noise died down and the dust settled, I saw a passage ahead, stretching deep into darkness. The sound of change mixed with the sun and overlapping voices. Sometimes they were above me, sometimes to the side, sometimes behind or ahead. Balls seemed to exist in every shadow, splitting into countless forms only to merge back into one. Something started running toward me from far away, inhumanly fast. Judging by the sound, it was on all fours. What the hell? I raised the spear, trying to steady my trembling hands. My eyes started everywhere. And then all sounds disappeared once again. I've always been fascinated by how impersonable humans are. How the weak worship the strong as if their pitiful lives matter to them at all. Why do you trust the book? Why do you trust Sifa? What if by getting rid of me just as he commanded you gain nothing but chaos? Who says salvation will be the best outcome? Things can always get worse. He's the father of lies. I can't listen to him. I just need to figure out where the real voice is coming from. Sifa only wanted me dead to weaken the god of darkness. Then his children, the angels, could have it easier. Humans are just as much a resource to him as they are to me. I shouldn't have taken the demon's words seriously, but I couldn't ignore how they echoed Donovan's warnings. She also said we couldn't blindly trust the book. She suspected that fulfilling its final message, killing Baal, would erase our memories of the immortals. It would set humanity back again, making us obedient slaves to higher beings. Donovan wanted to close the portals using the god participle, but we kidnapped Abel and ruined her plan. And now she's here. Time is running out. There is no way she could have sealed all the passages, even if she had known how. But she could open one of her own. If she does, and it fulfilling the prophecy really affects the people on earth, those who escape to heaven might be spared. That might be humanity's only chance to avoid enslavement. But would Donovan risk everything on an unproven theory? No, she wouldn't. Suddenly all sound stopped completely. I could hear only my breathing. Darkness surrounded me. Behind me lay the ruins of the base, swallowed by haze. Ahead, the tunnel. Swallowing hard, I wiped my sweaty palms against my dress. Footsteps echoed in the tunnel, followed by the heavy, deliberate clang of a single chain. My hands gripped the spear so tightly my knuckles paled. Just then the footsteps came very close. Out of the darkness charged Ball, wearing the mutilated body of Sis Form. Ew. He's showing himself. Why? I thought he wants to wait until I'm infected. Then all he has to do is command me and I'll obey. You can try to kill me and save your world, but you'll still be alone. It would be easier just to die. No, thank you. No, thank you. Especially if you say you want me to die. Now that he had stopped before me, I could see his horrifying features more clearly, even in their twisted state. You are Baal? The ancient demon, the father of lies? Human names. His voice carried no tone. I couldn't tell if he was angry or bored. Every word felt like it was forced through clenched teeth. He spoke in short, jagged phrases. Fear has no face, lies were the face of those who tell them. Oh, hell to the nah! Get my face off you! Do you know why I wear a human face? Because lies are your greatest weapon. That's what you lesser beings are best at. You have no weapon stronger than distorting the truth. This is fucked up and something. I'm so sorry for doubting CAIN. Is this form just a mask? The sigh of his twisted limbs broke my focus. It seemed I should have been using to things like that. But the energy emanating from Baal was unlike anything I had ever encountered before. He was an ancient evil from the oldest myths and scriptures. He didn't need screams or blood or battles. His very existence was unpredictable, his movements defying logic. Then what does your true face look like? Blacking away in fear, I hit a cold stone statue behind me. He vanished, something shifted at my back. Turning my head, I already knew where the answer was. Uh-oh. Behind me stood a colossal figure bound in chains so massive they kept it from moving. I stood before its hand the size of my entire body. This is the father of lies' true form? Next to him was a speck of dust. The spear in my hand was smaller than a splinter. He's chained. Sifa wouldn't have sent me here if this weapon couldn't harm him, right? Then I heard a strange noise. I stepped back from the immobile giant. Oh my god, look at this. From where the chains bound his wrists, massive drops of black blood were falling. Mixing with the ash, they formed abominations, but they didn't take flight. Their bodies were frail and lifeless. The haze parted for a moment, and I saw piles of them behind the demon. Incredible. How can these powerful creatures be nothing more than offspring of his blood? The demon didn't move. Sifa's chains held him tight. What now? Why isn't Ball fighting back? What is he waiting for? I have no choice but to try. He's waiting for you to get infected, bitch. Clutching the spear, I raised it above the demon's massive limb. Is he really not going to react? I ignored a strange sense of dread that crept in at that thought. The blade cut through the air, about to pierce the demon's flesh when a command thundered in my mind. Strike the chain. My body stopped obeying me, yielding to Baal. Instead of this flesh, the spear struck a massive iron link. What did I say? Like she dumb. Great, so we freed Baal. It crackled, beginning to crumble. No. This is what he wanted. He can't break Sifa's chains without the spear. Every strike against the shackles frees him a little more. This is why he wanted me to come. If he fully takes control of me, he'll just order me to free him. I have to hit his flesh, just once, but how do I fight him off? Well, use every single ounce of willpower you have and slash him with it. Like, just throw the fucking spear into his flesh. If you don't have the spear anymore, how are you supposed to break the chains? Suddenly, the demon's grip on me loosened. I regained control and swung again. But one cracked chain was enough. Ball ripped it apart with a single pull. The massive iron link came crashing down straight at me. It knocked me off my feet, pinning me to the ground. I couldn't tell if I could feel my legs. I couldn't even look at my body. Screaming uncontrollably, I watched the demon's enormous hand closing in on me. I guess we can see I'm very excited with what's going on. I'm so in for this BS. What do I do? What do I do? Think, come on. I told you, just fucking throw the damn spear at him. I bit my lip so hard it bled, forcing myself to focus. Dark veins now covered my entire body. All my strength went into resisting the infection. I have power too. The same power as Ball. If his blood is inside me, then I should be able to control his spawn just like he does. Get up and fight. Racked with pain, I reached for the spear lying nearby and thrust it forward just in time. I pushed the blade deep into the demon's hand, forcing it in as far as I could before tearing it free. Woo-hoo! This girl is on fire! We said, I let the world burn. There, he hit the chains and they flew off. His body could barely bend, but it could still walk. Writhing, I stared at Ball. The demon roared, a sound so loud it seemed to erase every other noise. Just a little, but I heard him. I leaned on the spear stuck in the ground. Thick blood gushed from my nose. How many more strikes can I manage? My body won't survive this for long. Cracks began spreading across the demon's form like I was turning to stone. Could it be the end? Was one strike enough? Still, the spear was imbued with the power of a deity. The cracks became deeper, so much so that in some places the stone began to split. Pieces of it fell down, rising clouds of dust. Then the massive figure suddenly collapsed downward. Barely managing the attempt, I climbed as high as I could. Looking down, I saw everything swallowed in darkness. Suddenly, a strange crackling sound came from the dust clouds. The demon emerged again, this time in a form closer to a human. I don't want to see anything from you, sir. I just want you to die. This is so fucking disgusting. The chilling aura radiating from him was unmistakable. The immortal looked truly terrifying. His mad gaze was hidden behind the fabric of his cloak, which resembled a monk's robe. His yellow, sharpened teeth jutted out of his inflamed gums, and his mouth never fully closed. Every movement of his limbs came with the grinding snap of bone. The human has learned control. But your body's weak. Your human side rejects my infection. You could have been so much more. The infection had spread across my whole body, covering it in dark veins. More blood dripped onto the ground. My legs barely held me upright. Striking Ball again was impossible. Sliding down the spear shaft, I dropped to my knees. The weapon stripped me of my second form. It's powerful. Ball's head twisted with a sickening crack. I braced for this attack. He could kill me in an instant. Rise and cut it. The command echoed in my mind, but I fought it, forcing my body to resist. Then Ball's features wrapped, and suddenly CAIN was standing before me. Now what the fuck is CAIN doing here? His hands were in chains. Simona, is that really you? He says with literally his... Are we seeing his eyes? Are we seeing the blue under his eyes? He looks done. Lawless here. He's been torturing me since you entered the base. Please free me. What the fuck? It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. No, don't you dare play with my heartstrings, bitch. I know that he's not here. Simona, I'm begging you. No. I shut my eyes so I wouldn't have to see the plea. The cracking sound returned. The figure shifted back into the demon. I do not understand meaningless suffering. What are you even fighting for? It's unclear. Gathering my strength, I forced out a defiant response. Because I get to decide what kind of world I want to live in. Not you, not even Sifa. The demon's arms twisted, his head turned until it was back in place, and he slowly returned to his true form. But you are neither human nor immortal. You're the chosen one groomed by Sifa to be a sacrifice. You were different from birth, never accepted, and for humans, their hurt is their entire world. I do not understand. Why then are you so desperate to go back to a world that will never accept you? Because I have people here. An outcast among humans, an outcast among immortals. I'm special, bitch. Just like you, apparently. I'm a special whack. The demon's last reverberated, cracked into place. I coughed and raised my head. Baal's eyes loomed right in front of me. CAIN awoke in the shallows. Disordered, he looked around. Simona? What the fuck? Was he knocked out? The angel, tangled in crimson growth, crawled toward her body. Waves lapped against her lifeless form. Behind him, the massive gates crumbled piece by piece. Stones crashed down, shattering against the slab floor below. He had triggered their collapse, absorbing the power that once held the spawn together. Simona, what happened to you? How's this possible? It wasn't supposed to be like this. You say now. She was breathing, but her body was veined with dark strands of the Fantogan. Your body's here, but you're not conscious. Yet you went through the gate. More stones fell. The gates behind them were almost completely gone. I'll get you out of here. Suddenly a spasm ran through CAIN, and he collapsed into the water. Screaming, he rolled onto his back. Heart and tendrils of the Fantogan trailed behind him like a shroud. CAIN had absorbed the energy of the gates and was now merged with them. Oh no! What is happening? Tearing at the crimson growth binding, his brother Abel forced his way out. Now his brother is back out again. I thought once you absorb something or someone, it stays in there. Apparently Abel is strong enough in order to get out of his brother's body. He was still there. He was still present. He was still conscious. I thought he kind of dissolved into CAIN's body. The tendrils had wrapped around him but hadn't consumed him. Ripping them apart, he freed CAIN and escaped himself. I will kill you. How the fuck? I can't. I really can't. I thought Abel was gone. They have to stop playing with my heartstrings like this, because I did say I didn't want Abel to be dead, and especially the way that they described it in the last episode, CAIN actually completely losing himself in his vengeance and the fact that he touched his girl. That his brother, the one that he can't stand, got a taste of his girl. He felt the need to actually smack him silly and everything. He consumed him. He consumed, therefore, his power. But no, he actually didn't really consume him. He had wrapped the red tendrils around him, as in to keep him with him at all times, to the point of wanting to absorb him. Well, shit. If you wanted to, you would have done it long ago. You won't hurt her. CAIN dug his claws into his own arm, tearing at his flesh, trying to ignite Baal's mark. Come on. I'll drag you down to hell with me. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. I love CAIN. The first thing that this man thought about the second that he again came to his senses was us. But Baal refused to summon him and gave no response. Shoving away the clumps of black slime and tendrils that had entangled him, Abel moved towards Simuna's body. Oh, hell no! Yeah, of course, because he has no balls mark, and so it's kind of like Ball does not call CAIN anymore. He calls Abel. So Abel is a little bitch now. Okay. She must submit to Ball. The angel lunged, but CAIN reacted in time. The immortal's first fist struck the water. For several moments, blows and dodges followed in quick succession. Abel looked weak and moved sluggishly, but he was still dangerous. Abel's strikes rained down on the back, shielding the motionless body. Step aside. There is no need for everyone to die at once. The waves brought a white backpack, unzipped and open. A glimmer of light reflected off one of the items inside. CAIN snatched a knife and hurled it at his brother before he could use his lightning. Lay a hand on her and I swear I will kill you. And this is the only thing I will believe you will do. That's the only thing I believe. It won't be enough to kill me. Earlier you took the backpack and your body avoided the damage. CAIN answered Abel? He yanked his brother's arm toward himself and struck him in the face with lightning. Caught off guard by the sudden retaliation, Abel stumbled back and fell into the water. CAIN stepped on his chest and twisted his arm into an unnatural position. Bubbles rose from beneath the water. Abel was screaming, "Ha ha!" CAIN did nothing more. He only needed to buy time, not to waste it on pointless torment. For your sake, CAIN was ready to fight his brother himself or anyone else, and we saw that. The second we said let go, that was already enough for him to realize that he had gone too far. Abel could have put more strength into his blows, but each time his gaze fell upon her, something stopped him. CAIN lifted her in his arms, but before he could get far, Abel blocked his way. Again, bitch, what the fuck is your problem? Fighting while holding a mortal was the same as condemning her to death, but there was no other choice. Suddenly, from within the collapsing gates, the general emerged. He was limping and unsteady. The general. CAIN poured most of his remaining strength into a single maneuver. He leaped toward the gate, striking Abel in the face with his wings as his brother charged after him. Now, Abel is just pathetic. Abel is pathetic as fuck. I thought this could be like a nice little triangle, but no, apparently not. Abel is just a bitch. Lightning rippled through the feathers and Abel fell, writhing in convulsions. Justice! Handing Simona to the general. That's the... Oh my god. You know how much faith, how much hope he would have to set in someone in order to actually give us up. CAIN barked quickly. Take care of her. She's unconscious. There were cracks beyond the gates. They lead to your world. Go. I'll hold them off. Abel struck back, slamming his brother into a fragment of the gate so hard it left an imprint. Wow. The two angels clashed, the shallows as lightning up with endless flashes. Each time one broke the other wrists, it healed instantly. The same with their legs, fingers, and necks. Wow. Their strength was equal, and so their fight turned into a battle of endurance. Dimitri carried Simona to the first crack, lying her down. He glanced at the squad members scattered across the ash. All of them lay there, consumed by Ball's haze. He began gathering them one by one, all of them unconscious. Everyone had to be brought into the crack. I had to hide from the demon. I darted between the stakes, forcing Ball to follow me while his chains got more and more tangled. Sometimes the demon got stuck, the chains pulling taut, refusing to let him move further. Then, with a casual sweep of his hand, he tore through dozens of tall iron stakes at once. As if it cost him nothing, once free, he lumbered after me again. I can't keep running like this forever. I need to come up with something. How can I get close enough to stab him with the spear again? If I get even a little closer, I'm dead. The longer I ran, the more I bled. Sniffling, I wiped it away with my sleeve. Staring at the crimson smears, I remembered my conversation with Anna. You're too quiet. Does the base scare you that much? No, it's just none of it lived up to expectations, even with your blood samples in hand. I'm useless. What do you mean? Path of the Devil's Whisper. Your blood merges with the Van Token, but we can't turn that into a cure. We're not spawn. We can't function with black blood. Even if it doesn't turn us into infected, we'd still die. So my blood is useless to science, huh? No, it's still my most valuable study material. But I don't think we can cheat the infection. The only way to end this is to destroy the source. That means killing every spawn, burning them out, closing the portals. Donovan is trying to do something like that. Yeah, by the way, Simona, your blood won't even save you from infection. So don't think you're invincible. You're harder to infect than most, but it's not impossible. The veins are already all over my limbs. A little more and I'll lose my mind completely. My efforts to hold it back aren't working anymore. I could no longer run silently or breathe quietly. Every greedy breath came out a rasp. My bare feet stung. Trying to catch my breath, I hid behind one of the stakes. Ball climbed onto it, scanning the area. He didn't see me yet, but he would soon. You wanted to save those people who entered the base with you, don't you? Is that why you're running? There's no point. They died in the explosion. The demon's voice came from above, but it was so loud it felt like he was screaming right into my ear. That's not true. It can't be. And yet the icy calm in his tone crawled under my skin. He's just trying to mess with me. I can't believe a single word he says. I switched them back when the dogs were chasing you. They tore the humans apart. I had to replace them, but you didn't notice. That's insane. The squad was real. My mind flashed back to the haze that saved me from the beast. It was an exact copy of a human. No, stop thinking about it. That's exactly what he wants. But what if it's true? I heard it quite laugh above me. Actually, you've been alone ever since you fell into the flooded rift. You died then. Haven't you noticed the strange things that started happening after that? No human survived something like that, but you did. My heart pounded. I couldn't breathe. The truth is, you never left this place. I'm still torturing you. This is just one of our usual long lessons. Do not believe a damn thing he says. Nah, we managed to get out. And the angel, as always, is only trying to keep your mind intact, because you're his ticket out of fear. Don't believe him. That can't be true. My inner voice begged me to resist, but I was already spiraling, searching for proof of Baal's words in the past. Sweat broke out of my forehead. Never left your cage. Everything, your squad, the spirit, was all in your imagination. CAIN, this is nonsense. Of course he was real all along. To crack Sifa's armor, you had to be broken first. And to break you, you had to be made to care. For others, for your goal, for life itself. Enough, shut up! I tried to cover my ears, but there was no escaping his voice. It felt like it echoed right in my skull. Anxious thoughts and dread spread like rot, my mind turning to jelly as each of his words carved another piece away. We pull our fucking self together. Why is he talking so much? He doesn't need to drive me insane to infect me. I lifted my head, trying to understand the demon's intent. In the reflection of my blade, I saw the flicker of my own eyes. A crimson spark flashed in the dark. That's it. Baal talks so much because he wants to throw me off balance. I can use my powers when I focus on emotional search. When I act and think in sync, knowing exactly what I want. But now I'm scattered. My thoughts are all over the place. He doesn't want me to use my powers again. That means they rattled him. He doesn't understand what I'm capable of, and maybe he's even afraid of it. If I use my powers again, my eyes will glow and Baal will know I'm about to act. I need to hide them somehow, so he can't read me so easily. I glanced around and spotted a gauzy scrap of fabric caught on a metal spike fluttering in the wind. Carefully pulling it free, I threw the cloth over my head. When you purchase hairstyle, okay. Devil's Whisper. God's cruel voice? Do I have to? The moment I lowered the cloth over my head, Ball leaped down from his stake. Dust exploded outward from his form, knocking me off my feet. If not for the cloth covering my eyes, I wouldn't be able to see at all. Some got in my mouth. My throat really hurts. I felt my legs starting to retreat on their own. The demon hovered mere inches above the ground in front of me. I can't move. He's got me completely under control. I can't even use my powers now. He extended his hand, and I took several steps back until my spine pressed against the steel stake. And then my body was slammed into the stake. Again and again. Beautiful. Again and again and again. Ball was trashing me like a doll. My head left a dent in the iron. Streams of blood flowed across my body. My eyes were swollen shut, and then there wasn't a single spot left on my back that was intact. Ball lowered his hand, and I collapsed into a puddle of my own blood. Having lost control of my body, I could no longer move. I looked at my own reflection on the red surface, spreading out in all directions. Is this how it ends? What could I have missed? Maybe there was a weak point mentioned in the book. Or something else. Just one clue. Sifa must have left a hint. I repeated every message from the very beginning, but none of them held a single clue. But I was slowly coming closer. His joints twisted as he moved. Once more, everything from the beginning, not the messages, the very beginning. My heart slowed. I remembered the opening lines, and those words fit together with what Ball had said earlier, as if completing the thought. Okay! Nah, that's gorgeous. There is no good, and there is no evil. When dark accepts light, and the light accepts the dark, what must take place? Will. That which cannot be avoided. Peace. Humanity is darkness, the creation of the god of darkness. The essence of the chosen one is immortal, created by Sifa, the god who bears light. There was no division between good and bad in a human, just as there is no pure evil or good. Peace was only possible if I accepted both parts of myself. This was a necessary step in the formation of identity. I need to merge into a single person to stop rejecting myself. Path of Devil's Whisper. And so we said goodbye, good side. Drawing closer to my own reflection, I sank my teeth into it. As I devoured myself, I was absorbing my light, half becoming one with it. With each second of reconciliation, I could feel sensations returning to my body. The pain grew sharper, and my arms and legs heavier. When not a drop of the reflection remained, I felt whole for the first time. We said, I eat you. I remembered my childhood laughter, my mother's smile, my father's chuckle. I remembered preschool, the girl who played dolls with me, my favorite pillow, favorite TV channel, favorite sticker, and favorite movie. I remembered my school backpack with princess keychains from a chocolate egg, glittery magazines, the thrill of the home phone, school days filled with the desire to hurry home, the fear I felt before a trip to another country, my first glimpse of my future university through the window of a tourist bus, my mother's voice on the phone, her calming tone, text from my father. Not everything was always bad, but the good was forced out of me. If I'm going to hate the world, then let it be my own decision. The moment I came to my senses, Ball swung to finish me off. No, but suddenly his hand stopped. Path of Devil's Whisper, period. Don't you dare. Accepting both parts of myself, I felt stronger. Driven by the will to live, all my feelings sharpened and focused on a single goal. Locking eyes with Ball, I tried with all my might to keep control over the demon and not let him kill me. It was the only way I could win. Oh shit. Yep. Apparently I don't have enough Devil's Whispers points. Oh well. Try to fight without risking your life. Well, happens, I guess. The demon's hand slammed down. Ball struck me. From the force of his blow, several stakes standing nearby toppled to the ground. One of the chains flew toward the demon, which he easily deflected, but it raised the dust and distracted him from a moment. I managed to crawl away and hide. I won't make it out of here alive, but I can still make him pay for my suffering.
The dust wouldn't settle. Standing, I reached for the spear. I drove it into the ground and it tilted. It jutted from the dark earth like a blade of grass bent by a fierce wind. Standing before the weapon so that it was hidden behind me, I waited for the demon. My teeth are chattering. From the swirling smoke came the crack of turning joints. Then the demon silhouette appeared, and after that he himself. He approached without hurry. With his endless life, there was no point in it. I pretended to be scared and started to back away toward the spear behind me. He must not realize I've prepared something. I need to make it look like he caught me off guard. Ball sped up, he swung, closing in fast. Clenching my teeth, I threw myself against the spear the moment he lunged at me. Passing through my body, the blade struck the demon in the chest and pierced him. We froze, both of us, impaled on the weapon. We said self-sacrifice. Ball roared. He pushed, trying to pull free. Clinging to him, I forced the demon to drag me out with him. I fell to the ground and Ball staggered back a few more steps. He joined back again, creaking again, and then he collapsed to the ground. I had no strength left to fight. My body was finally overtaken by the Phantogen. Wow. Ball's body toppled. You have managed to defeat Ball, but the portal is not closed. The number of spawn will not decrease. Well, through his open mouth, the dying demon hissed. You protected a world that is nothing more than a plaything for the gods. By sacrificing yourself, you fulfilled the role Sifa set for you, remaining nothing but his lapdog. The god of darkness will come for you, and even your messiah's sins will not be able to change that. I had no strength to answer. Messiah? Call the chosen one whatever you want. A tool is just a tool. Staggering, I spat out a cloth of blood. I can feel it. They're still alive. The demon stared at my scar, where the dark veins of the Phantogen crawled from. I felt a strange burning in my hand. Ball had done something to the blood inside the scar at the last moment, and then the life in his eyes faded forever. A crack ran along the spear. It marked the end of the fight. The surrounding stakes began to fall. Ball's world was collapsing along with his dungeon. There were no more swallows, no more tree of pain, which meant the infected should finally be freed and die. I scooped up ash in my hand. Lying there, I felt life slipping from my body. Why am I even still alive? My body has suffered worse than the demons. Suddenly the pain eased a little. I ached everywhere, but I felt I had to move. Something pulled me outward as if my mission wasn't yet finished. Of course, I'm still alive only because Sifa needs me. This gift is keeping me going. Gather the last of your strength without letting your body collapse. As long as you breathe, fight. What the fuck? Crawl, dig through the dirt with your nose, but get out. Forcing myself to move, I gathered every bit of inner strength I had left. My body wouldn't obey, but with difficulty I managed to crouch. Gathering all my strength, I tried to ignore the infection, to hide its inside, swallowing the full black blood with my own. My body began to change. Just a bit more. What the fuck? I don't understand, so I didn't have enough Devil's Whispers points, but apparently I have enough in order to drag myself out there. Earlier, the general pulled the last squad member to the crack. Simona's body was gone. She's not here. Where is Simona? He looked around in horror. There wasn't a soul alive nearby. Well, bitch, that's your fault. Cupping his hands to his mouth, he shouted with all his strength. Simona! No, this is your fault. If CAIN catches your ass, sir. No one answered. Grabbing his head, he fell to his knees, staring into the crack. Did she fall? Damn it. We were supposed to go down together. Linking the squad together, Dimitri tied himself to the others. He glanced toward the place where the brothers had fought earlier. CAIN and ABEL were in the shallows, house submerged in water. Are we kidding? They're still fighting. Their bodies lay unmoving. Each held the other's heart, and were still standing. What the fuck? Calm waves rippled across them. There was no longer any life in their eyes. They're dead? Knowing there was no time to waste, Dimitri dropped each squad member into the crack and jumped in after them. Hell no. Are you telling me my man is dead? A figure appeared at the rift. He was dragging several bodies laying on a piece of metal torn from a wall at the base. Where is she? The world outside had descended into chaos. A snowstorm was tearing at the ground, and what lay ahead was barely visible.
Demona, give me a sign if you hear me.
Truth be told, I feel right now so bad for Dimitri. I did say I forgave him. This was a long fucking journey. I did forgive him. So right now, he's kind of like a brother figure for me. He really is. An extreme overprotective brother. And I kind of feel bad right now because he was trying to keep like all of us going and not just save us. So I kind of feel bad for him. I have sympathy for him. He continued calling out stubbornly, dragging his friends. He was running out of strength, falling, yet getting back up again. Yeah, imagine, considering the fact that he's like slowly withering away as well because he's gravely injured. But there was no one to answer him. We did. We did. That did. Trying to spot Simona in the snow, Dimitri dragged the squad into the forest. They needed to be hidden and sheltered from the storm. Military fortification appeared among ancient stones.
Donovan did ask for help. We didn't have weapons like this. But where did everyone go?
Snow fell from some bushes nearby. Two figures stepped out toward the menhires.
Your life? Donovan blew up the rift. She held her soldiers into the portal to the heavens, but Noah suggested we wait here for you. I guess someone met it out. Are you badly wounded? What about the rest? Was CAIN, Simona?
Earlier, Lester had escaped the spawn unharmed. He had enough strength to run from Donovan.
Thank goodness. I lost her, but she couldn't have gotten far. Take care of the others, I'll find her.
The general stopped looking at the man standing next to Noah.
Lester, I'm glad to have you back with us. I really managed to escape Donovan. I had to pose as one of her soldiers and wait until we made it here.
The general only nodded. He swayed where he stood, but stayed on his feet.
Where did the soldiers go?
They went into the portal with Donovan. Of course they would. I mean, after all, that bitch ass guy came. I forgot his name again. But you all know who it is.
And the blood? Kid, the professor made her test the portal and it collapsed.
No longer able to stay on his feet, Dimitri fell into the snow.
General.
He tried to stand, but his body wouldn't obey.
Take the others and leave. No.
What's wrong? He's dying. No one Lester hurried to him. He barely managed to get to his feet. Like, it's not like anyone actually took care of his wounds. He's dying.
Don't delay. If Abel was telling the truth, then you need to go through there. Head in the heavens.
Noah and Lester exchanged glances. It seemed Dimitri wasn't joking.
I'll stay here. I promised CAIN I'd save her.
Wasting no time, they began carrying the squad through the portal, taking them one by one. Dimitri headed toward the forest, but collapsed into the snow after only a few feet. When no one from the squad was left, Lester spotted his figure in the distance. Snow had drifted over him. He had been unconscious for some time.
Storm's getting worse. We can't leave anyone out here. Someone hasn't returned yet. CAIN was always with her. He'll help this time too.
I mean, everyone knows he's my bitch. Everyone knows he's my bitch. Noah gave Lester a doubtful look. Lester wasn't sure of what he was saying, but between the two of them, someone had to make the call.
All right, let's get them in there.
I dragged myself out of the rift, clinging to life with my last ounce of strength. I wanted to know, had the world changed at the cost of my death, or was such a sacrifice far too small for it to matter? Oh my god, cold, lonely, and frightening. The fog doesn't end, and darkness trails right on my heels. It trails after me, wanting to pull me down into the ground. Am I part of it? Its beginning or its end? Something flickers ahead. Warm light breaks through the fog. Breaking to the surface, I gasp for air. Huh? Just like the last time I came out of the rift. Back then, Ball let me go after the torture, erasing part of my memories and setting me loose on the world. But now he's been defeated. Dragging the cracked spear behind me, I looked around, whimpering softly. Anybody from the squad? CAIN? Anyone? Where are you? I searched for familiar figures but saw no one. I need to get higher. Get higher? I climbed through the snow toward the very top of the rift. The wind tore at my hands, yanked my hair, and plastered my back with wet, stingy snow. But even there, nothing awaited me but emptiness. Wow. CAIN? Oh, that's so fucking painful. Like everyone is gone. We're all alone in the world. The blizzard howled around me. The wind tugged at my dress, making me shiver. I don't feel Baal's influence anymore. But my chest is empty too. The feelings I lost can never be returned to me. Suddenly I felt something strange. The gift stopped guiding me. It went silent, and with that came an anxious sense of something irreversible drawing near. A strange warmth bloomed in my chest. Forcing myself through the pain, I lowered my head in frozen horror. A sphere of light flickered under my ribs, glowing through my bloodied skin. No, what's this? What's happening? The glow slowly pushed outward, stretching my flesh. Scratching at my torso, I tried to pull the sphere out of myself, but nothing worked. What? There is still something inside of us? The blue light passed through my skin, leaving a red mark on my chest. Staring at its shimmer with dread, I fell silent. Only my chest still heaved from the panic. The sphere hovered before me, casting bluish rays that scattered in the light. It felt like all of nature had gone still. Birds, beasts, people, wind, leaves, and snow. Time stopped. No sound would ever be heard again, no motion, no life would appear or fade. Trembling at the incomprehensible, I gathered up my soaked dress and reached for the light. Once I hadn't feared this gift. As a child, I had reached out my hand and accepted it. The moment my fingers touched the glow, the sphere silently exploded, releasing an endless vast wave of light in every direction. My consciousness became the wave. I was no longer human, only the function Siva had placed in me from the beginning. Flying over cities in a matter of seconds, I saw people disappearing beneath me. One after another, they turned to light and were absorbed into me. Crowds, dozens, thousands. I emptied cities in moments. The wave rushed across the world, encircling it. Oceans flew past beneath me, crashing waves, snowy mountains, and ancient forests. So we're no longer humans. Now we shattered our skin. My consciousness sped across the world, devouring every human being, whether they hid in bunkers, in houses, under the body of the infected. Near the rifts, I sometimes spotted crowds of cultists, hysterically running and sad for some reason. I caught almost all of them, flying on without stopping. Circling the world, I returned to the rift. The light became a sphere again and slammed into my own body, lying lifeless on the peak. For a few moments, I lay there, trying to deny what had happened. A massive shockwave had swept across the entire world, erasing every human being in seconds. And that wave was me. Humans. They couldn't have just disappeared, could they? Maybe it was a vision? And I finally gone insane? The wind tossed my hair. It was as if nothing had happened. The weather hadn't changed. Snowflakes still fell from the sky onto my face. I felt my body begin to tear apart under the weight of emotions, thoughts, and pain, as if I'd absorbed all the evil in the world like a sponge. I knew the gift had left me when the pain from all my wounds suddenly returned full force. Not understanding what was happening to me, I clawed at the snow trying to breathe. Bleeding out and fighting for my life with every second, I forced myself to rise, first to my knee. Then I managed to get up on one leg. Finally I stood, looking over the world with eyes that could barely see. My head spun and I swayed from side to side. There was nothing left on the roads where scattered military posts had been standing. The people were gone, leaving only fortifications. Thunder roared overhead, raising my bloodshot eyes to the sky. I saw thousands of bright shards flying toward the ground. Each left a fiery shimmering trail. There were hundreds and thousands of stars. The entire sky became one vast firework. It was all real. There was no left in the world, and soon the world itself would be gone, and with it I would die too. Your purpose is fulfilled, oh great, and you have sealed away your feelings and become the Dark Messiah. Become the Dark Messiah. Halasifa Malam. Oh my god, the corners of my mouth crept upward. Oh my god, y'all, we have turned into the Dark Messiah, literally. We have turned off our emotions for good. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Throwing my head back and spread my arms wide, I watched the falling stars with pleasure. You may see it as a pleasure. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, hell to the nah. Oh, hell to the nah. The fact she's enjoying this, bitch, this is not something good. This is it. The great purpose given by God. The reason for all suffering, the thing we cherished and strove toward. Death. I gotta go. I wanted to curse all the gods, but instead I laughed until my throat burned. The destruction of humanity amused me and brought nothing but a smile. Y'all, we have turned into Sifo Malum 2.0. Hysterical laughter made my stomach cramp. It was madness. Soon the laughter turned to a rasp, then to a pitiful gurgle. My body was dying and I could no longer stay on my feet. I looked at the world around me one last time. Open, vast, boundless. It roared, shone, and scattered, and shattered with every flash. It felt like every sound blended into a cacophony song CAIN had once played. The angel mourned this world, and my heart wept with the melody. That was the sound of a Requiem. We did. The woman atop the rift fell into the snow. Path of the Devil's cruel whisper and high adaptability. What the fuck? The spawn circling above settled beside her. Feeling no threat from the human, they stayed as if waiting for something. What? What? Oh, true, we're the master, right? Kinda. What the fuck? Beautiful. Outstanding. Beautiful. It's over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. A few days after the battle with what the fuck? What? Ah! The story doesn't end here. You can continue following the hero's fate in the sequel, Heaven's Secret, Eternity's End. What? Y'all, it's over. It's fucking over. We have turned into the Dark Messiah, y'all. We have turned into Baal. We are Baal now. This is fucking dark. And I assume that my baby CAIN is gone. But we will see what next episode is all about. I assume that the continuation of the story would be Heaven's Secret 3, because I don't remember seeing any other Heaven's Secret continuation. Eternity's End? I don't think I've ever seen that in the app. But that was amazing, actually. I'm so worried. It would be amazing, actually, if we could get to see CAIN and ABEL in the continuation. Don't ask me why ABEL is a bitch, yes, but just like our mother was when we first met her. And yes, I'm still not pleased with her bitch-ass attitude, but I would say we made some progress, and I want to have that for CAIN. Not for ABEL, for CAIN. Because CAIN has always felt that he was a mistake, and back in the day, he was also willing to die for his brother, only to realize that that's exactly what his brother wanted. As in, he was actually selfless, and his brother was selfish, being fine with CAIN being the sacrifice. And that hurt him to that extent that he literally left. He left heaven. He found himself on earth, fending for himself, and then he got trapped in Baal's bitch-ass attitude. I want justice for my man, but we will see what in another story. But we will see what the next story will give us. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.